It's very interesting. You know, I remember 90s when I went to US, and that was the first time I understood what a CIO is. In 90s, early 90s, I had not heard of CIOs in India. But these were the people keeping the lights on, really, more or less responsible to make sure that the systems functioned and they, as per the business requirements. And by end of 90s, they were more or less into looking into newer cost-effective technologies, ERPs to be considered for the organization, putting them in place. Cost cutting remained, one of the focus area. And every time I hear this, the CIO role is now, it's more or less obsolete. It just comes back with more force, with more impact. And that CIO, just like you were mentioning, Preeti Madam is a CIO, a CDO, and so many CMOs. So that is what today a CIO is. It's become like equivalent to a CEO actually. In this digital world, if you see from information officer, it became an innovation officer in last decade, because last decade was more of innovation driven decade. And one thing that I feel is very clear: CIOs now, as they stand today, they are supposed to lead the organization's growth. And that's why you see somewhere, in fact, my role also transformed from a CIO to CGO. It's become a chief growth officer. Now, what does that growth officer really mean? Is it only technology, or is it growing the business? Are they even different anymore? That's the real question. And look at what has changed. I was going through I was giving a lecture at UCLA the other day on digital transformation. And interestingly, while giving that, I put one case forward of Best Buy. Best Buy is a store in US. And what happened, this is like 2016, it was more or less going out of business. Because rightly mentioned, as Vijay sir said, people come in, they look online, and they look offline, but ultimately they'll buy online because that's where the cheapest things are. So Best Buy faced this struggle in 2016. People used to walk into the store, have a look and feel of the stuff, and then go online and in front of them buy on Amazon. So that became a very big pain, and they were losing business left and right. So the CIO thought, what can I do? What is the business value that I carry? And I want to make, Deepak, I'm just taking 2 minutes more here because this is very important. It's all about business value that CIO has to think about. So this guy walks in and he thinks, okay, what value am I delivering? And he understands that people are coming in, looking at the product, and then buying online. So maybe my real value is showing them the product and keeping this stored. So why don't I start charging people to come in? Like a ticket, if you want to walk in, you have to pay me because that's the value I'm delivering to you. And then suddenly you see that Amazon gives a 15-day return back. So you can have it for 15 days and return it back. So where does this business go? And then the CIO really thinks that who will get the biggest problem if tomorrow I go out of business? And then he comes to the wisdom that Apple has so many stores over US. But what will happen to Samsung if I close down tomorrow? Samsung is selling because of my experience center. So he goes back to Samsung. He understands that, my real value is what I'm delivering to Samsung, not to customers. So he tells Samsung, CEO of Samsung, that, look, I'm going to close all my stores tomorrow because I'm going out of business. If you want to continue, either you open stores across US like Apple, or what you do is you pay rent to me and open your experience center within Best Buy and also pay commission. That's where he banged it, and suddenly Best Buy changed. So the point I was trying to make is that CIO basically is no more just an IT guy. He's the person who understands what value the business is delivering and to whom it is delivering. That's the world we are in today.